So you're probably wondering what the Talkative Bunch uses to record our podcast. We use Anchor. Anchor is 100% free. There's creation tools that allow you to edit and add things to your audio directly in the programming. And above all else, Anchor distributes your podcast to literally everywhere, like Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and just stuff like that. Anchor is really, really awesome, and the Talkative Bunch uses Anchor, and it's perfect. So if you guys want to start your own podcast, go to anchor.com, Anchor FM, or download the free Anchor app. Once again, go to anchor.com, go to Anchor FM, or download the free Anchor app to get started.
All right, so here's the other thing, like the way that space travel affects time, that if aliens were were distant to us outside of the Milky Way, they would be looking at Earth and they would still be seeing the dinosaurs.
That's true, because
unless they were like, oh, let's go check out these huge ass lizards and just come at us, and they're like, oh, those aren't lizards. What the fuck is that? They wouldn't know that we are here until they got close enough.
That'd be the biggest, I
mean, unless they have the technology
of the whole life. And you guys can go check out some lizards, and they come to Earth. It's like, oh my god, racism!
Dude, what are these hairless things?
What happened?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Talkative Bunch podcast. The date is April 29th, 2020. I'm joined by the usual suspects, Jake, Morgan, and Andras. Today's topic, however, is a little more structured.
What about me?
And Austin. Austin's here, too.
Jake, Morgan, Andras.
And Austin.
And Austin.
I forgot Jake. I was muted.
Today's topic is going to be a little bit structured, more structured than usual.
No, don't tell them that. We don't.
Yeah, it is. Because
it should sound genuine. Like we're going to talk about this for an hour and a half.
The topic is
Kim Jong-un.
Greg.
Aliens.
So each of us have had a little bit of time to prepare our.
Oh wait, I gotta open up my notes.
What is that? We got this. Please stop.
Yeah, stop that.
Stop that, George.
We got our own alien topics that we've picked out, and we are going to, share it with the others as well as the listeners back home, and hope you guys enjoy it. So, Jake, can you kick us off?
Aliens? I thought you said daylilies.
This isn't about flowers?
So, we have research on daylilies. I'm sorry.
Aliens? I thought we were talking about Canadians. Which are aliens if they're in the US.
I think you meant something that rhymes with Canadians.
Oh, ginger ale?
No, I thought you meant a big fat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, anyways, Jake, kick us off with because you appear first under Andras in Discord. Aliens.
This is true.
Jake,
well, I'm a little prepared. Not as much as I wish I was, but I'm a little prepared. Could you go away?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Bye.
Oh my gosh.
My computer's being stupid.
That's okay.
Dummy.
There we go. Nope. Oh, I stopped doing what you're doing. I'm so sorry.
All right, talk.
Jake, come on, you got it.
Stop laughing.
All right. Oh my god. Okay, we did it.
Sick.
Y'all see that new video the Navy released?
Oh, I was going to talk about that.
I was going to bring up.
I'm going first.
Yes,
okay,
we did.
I honestly have not seen this video.
It was leaked like in 2014, so I did see it, but I haven't seen it recently.
They were recorded.
I'm sorry, you go.
No, it's okay. They were recorded in 2004 and 2015, but in 2017 they were leaked, and then
the Navy.
They just released it now.
like
from the
officially.
Pentagon. So I looked into why they just released, and it's basically they weren't like it was pretty. It wasn't look if it's aliens, don't release it's aliens. It wasn't that sort of thing. It was pretty much the Pentagon was looking into it to make sure it wasn't any secret military program that they were running, because if they release that to the public, then like other countries know what we're doing, etc. So they pretty much just had to put in a it's a clearance request that's been around since 1910. It's just pretty much, can this be released without national security being an issue? But that's why it took so long for them to actually release it.
Oh,
So like, what's the footage?
That's pretty
What's the
cool.
footage though?
It's classic UFO footage. It's just like a
it looks
mysterious
like
object
infrared.
flying.
Yeah, it's just like a black and white, but it's also infrared.
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing that made it really interesting is instead of like some random person recording it, it was actually both instances were from naval fighter jets. So it's like the infrared. There's the 2004 version, and then the 2014 version of like the old and updated versions of infrared and radars, and it's like the naval pilot talking throughout it of like what he's seeing and what's so weird about it.
Yeah. So Jake just included the image in our Discord
That's
chat.
a video if you click on it.
I'm gonna click on it, but I'm just
That
looking
is
at the thumbnail.
that's the BBC article. Yeah, I'm looking at the New York Times one.
Dude, that really looks like that just looks like a. I don't like how that looks. That's scary.
I'm be real with you though, but like I feel like that's such a stereotypical like it looks like flying saucer, you know.
Up.
Why do you think?
Yeah,
that,
but the weirdest thing is the DoD that they said they have no idea what it is. They say it's not military, and they don't know of other aircrafts that it could be. Usually, you know, they'll provide some sort of explanation. You know, it's a small aircraft, it's a helicopter, it's some piece of prototype satellite, whatever. But they just said that they don't know what it is.
Bro,
they just said like
here's the other thing. If you notice, there hasn't been that much UFO like since Area 51, like Area 51, whatever happened. There hasn't really been much like any recent UFO sightings or anything that like I think maybe I saw one or two on the news or something like when I was growing up.
Yeah, they really hit a slump.
There hasn't been something like this for a long while.
That's true, but I mean, with UFO sightings and whatever, there are always significant dips just in like time periods of when they actually come out. So it's not abnormal, but I think with everybody focusing on coronavirus and whatever, it's not much of a hot topic. Because you'd think if the Pentagon released these as videos, I mean, they released it. They said it was from actual Navy pilots, etc. You know, it should have been a bigger story if nothing was going on.
That's right, but because everyone's so hectic right now, I mean, a lot of people still caught this. Like they still saw this article.
Yeah,
right. It was still significantly large, but not as
big as it could be.
Yeah, usually like news places would be covering this, and it would be everywhere. People would just be bringing it up for shits and giggles, but you know. Not as important with the rest of the hellhole the Earth is going through right now.
What's actually interesting is just like what I've seen in terms of just like Area 51 or like alien stuff. Like this is how I felt when I just saw this. Where like you know when like you see footage like captured like film footage and stuff that you're like, oh that's just flying saucer, that's what it is. But when I look at this, I'm just like, nah, that's not what I think it is, kind of thing, because it's from the government. Where like the government finally was like, yeah, this is what we think it is, and I'm just like, you're playing.
But also, it's so stereotypical. It's that's what I'm saying. What Austin said. It's so stereotypical. Like if you look at any space movie or like sci-fi space movie we have, they don't use flying saucers that look like that. That's like what you see in a cartoon. That is what Marvin the Martian.
Well, that's always been the interesting thing to me.
But the stereotype had to start somewhere, you know.
That's so
right,
true,
and that's the point I want to bring up. really interesting bit to me is looking back at those paintings from like Renaissance times, when you see in the background in the sky like a UFO in the traditional cartoon UFO form that like we know today. And that's like really, really odd to me that it would be all the way since then. Of course, I haven't actually done a whole lot of research into that, and I don't know how accurate those paintings are, or if that's even if they were doctored in any sort of way.
Yeah.
But just to think that it could have been around since Renaissance times, and maybe before, because there's all those talks about ancient Greek gods being actually just aliens.
This was one of my topics I actually wanted to talk about. Is do you guys think like the pyramids and like the Stonehenge was built by aliens?
See, that one's tough for me because, like, yeah, I get that it's not physically possible or like whatever the argument.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I would like to interject there. It's not physically possible for maybe one of today's humans or a group of humans to do that. But if you think about life, well, first of all, we don't know a whole lot about life. We may think we know a whole lot about life back then, but we really don't. But if you consider it, they walked everywhere. They carried all belongings, etc. And I'm basing this off of a podcast I was listening to earlier today, which is alien theorists talking about aliens or whatever. Let me get the exact podcast name. Alien theorist theorizing. That was the name of the podcast that I was listening to. But they were pretty much just saying, we don't know a whole lot about humans back then, and that's not completely obscure to think. Those humans, they never used a whole lot of machinery for moving about or moving things and objects and building and whatever. So they could have been a whole hell of a lot stronger than us in comparison.
That's true.
But that's just my argument against that I find to be
also
at least somewhat plausible.
There's something. Hold on, let me try to find it before I put this in there. But it was something about like how people back then, they were like physically like. Everybody says that as our generations grow, we're getting bigger and taller and stronger. But something about ancient Egypt where these people were actually massive compared to what we were today.
Really?
Hold on.
They've been eating their Wheaties and doing their push-ups. No, but like the thing that like boggles me is when people like, especially like what I've seen in like on History Channel and stuff like that, where it's like ancient aliens and stuff like that, where they're just like,
that shows quality content.
Yeah, it is. And when they're like, there's no way like humans built this. But I also think like, hold on, like a pharaoh also had thousands of slaves just working for him. That literally
it's like there's no way humans built this. It's like, yes, they did. They just used slaves. Like that's.
And also, they didn't build it in a day. But I also can see how like we poke at it and being like, like these like 5 pyramids are arranged in this pattern, and it's to honor the sun gods. Like, why did they build it? Like, what's the sun god? And I'm like, I think they're reading too much into that stuff. I'm like, you're reading too much into it. Like, with enough time and slavery, like you can get anything done.
Quote from
that's fair. I mean, yeah.
He's right.
As shitty as that may be.
I'm not dogging. I just thought it was funny.
Like, I'm saying that like honestly, like they had so much access to just labor, and it's awful. It's horrible what they did to like their own people. It's atrocious, but at the same time, like they could do it because they were supreme rulers, and they like in Egypt, their pharaohs.
They were treated like gods. They were treated themselves like gods.
Yeah, they
were more willing to do it. It wasn't like back then.
But that's not.
Didn't seem
I don't think we should. I don't think we should take. I feel weird about saying that they thought of them as their gods instead of just saying they were slaves and they were forced to do that. I would prefer to say that they were slaves and forced to do that rather than make up an excuse for that entire thing happening.
Exactly. No, I totally agree.
So in one way, yes, but also they didn't really have a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if they conquered you were forced to.
I did find this article. I don't know how credible this article is.
Who's it from?
It said that when they were doing...
Is it .org?
What?
Is it .org?
No, it's not .org. But It said they were doing DNA tests from the ancient mummies, and they shared more of the DNA with humans today than they did human or any people of their same time period in any surrounding area. So if like they probably were, it regressed, and then these people started growing again. Something I have no idea, but like.
I also mentioned Stonehenge. I don't think that was built by aliens. I believe the pyramids were more built by aliens than Stonehenge. Stonehenge is an observatory.
Yeah, I could see the pyramids being more plausible because, first of all, like geometric shapes and all that, triangles in that time period aren't what I consider a very well-known geometric shape. Like squares, yeah, rectangles, yeah, etc. But like triangle didn't really have a use besides maybe like being on a balance, etc. But like to just want to make a giant thing out of a triangular shape and a triangular prism, nonetheless, it's more odd to me than just shoving a bunch of rocks around.
Right.
Yeah, this Stonehenge was actually before that it was wood.
It was what?
Interesting. It
was actually a larger monument built by wood, and then they put the stone.
Oh,
that makes sense. Like the stones are just the foundation of that.
No. If you look it up, there's circles, large monumental circles surrounding Stonehenge that were made out of wood. Like hold on, let me find it. Let's see, I'll send it in the chat. I'm just looking up wood Stonehenge.
So based on the geometry and stuff, why do you think that they chose the triangle? Like they chose the pyramid shape?
I don't know. It's very odd to me.
I think I read it somewhere where it's like it's supposed to like point to heaven or something like that. That'd be my inference.
I read that too. The other thing I read was that the pyramid was supposed to represent the rays of the sun, and like the dead pharaoh could symbolically climb to the sky and be there forever, and it was their way of getting to the sky. But I don't know how. Like I don't know if I believe that.
Well, because you always think of like mathematics and philosophy and all that being Greek and etc. It's weird to me that the Egyptians would. Yeah, and I haven't looked up recently like the time periods of or when math was thought about and developed in Greek as comparison to when the Egyptians built the pyramids and whatever. But I don't consider the Egyptians huge mathematicians and philosophers and all that. I consider them followers of God or some more of an ancient civilization than the Greeks.
Yeah. I'd say I'd agree with the statement more ancient. I'd agree.
Also, if you think about, how people, the Alexandria Library that was supposed to contain information that could have put us years
that got
ahead
burned.
of where we are. That was located in Egypt.
Right,
so
that's true. But that is after the Greeks took it. Well, I guess Macedonia, but
so like they at one point had the lump sum of almost all human knowledge.
Do you know what we don't? True. Do you know what we don't see anymore? Kind of like a little
crop circles.
Gears. I was just about to say that crop circles. I have not.
I was about to bring that up.
For that minute.
Well, I think because it was mainly debunked. It was mainly debunked as to just being people mowing in their lawns.
Right.
Mainly, I said.
People mowing stuff.
I don't know. They're pretty impressive, though. Whoever those artists were, shout out to them.
They're really taking the time and effort, honestly.
That would have been hard to do, especially because you can't see where you're going. So they perfectly made a circle, mapped it out.
Well, zero-turn mowers.
Well, think about crop circles back in the day.
Oh, we talking like the 50s and 60s?
The first UFO sighting was in 47. Wait, okay. The first actual reported UFO sighting was in 1947.
Really?
So,
what did it
say?
We
don't know about first, but yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said first reported.
Yeah. So if you look at the website I just brought up, which for the listeners, it's stone-circles.org.uk/stone/stonehenge.
I see.
So if you scroll down, you see like the rings around it. It was originally supposedly made up of wood, and there were several different stages. So it was wood, then a stone one, and then the Stonehenge we know today. There are also other theories which I found super, super interesting, that Stonehenge was actually a building with a wood roof on top of it, which I'll see if I can find an image of that, because that's something I've never thought of before. But it once you see this image that I'll send in, you'll be like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense.
Even Neil deGrasse Tyson said, like, it wasn't made by aliens. It's literally an observatory. Stop saying it was made by aliens. It's like you're freaking people out. Oh man.
Some people also say crop circles are just a disease, like they just kill the plant, and that's kind of weird. It's kind of just one of those things.
Well, it could be like some sort of Roundup thing or whatever.
Lots of things, lots of fungus and stuff, when they die will leave a circle. There's things called, okay, so when I worked for the Parks Department again, we had to watch out for these things called fairy rings. And basically it was where fungus would kill rings around the tree, and they would make perfect circles all the way around the tree.
Whoa.
So like a lot of that.
Oh, that's...
Yo. Morgan
so
I sent in the chat the picture of what a wood roof would look like over Stonehenge, and it looks like it should have been that. It makes more sense than the stones just
that's
being
a cool
there.
building. Like if that was real,
it's an observatory, dude. Literally, that's so sick.
And they say there were like sacrilegious rituals there or whatever. I mean, we may never know, but yeah. Sorry, Jake. You can keep going.
No, you're good. I can't remember what I was talking about, so it doesn't matter.
Something about fairy circles.
Fungus circles.
Yeah. So naturally in nature, when like
naturally
in nature,
naturally
circles are way more common. So that would make sense that the crop circles would be from a disease.
Oh yeah, I would say that, but I mean they did all the weird patterns and whatevers that were only visible from aerial heights, which leads me to believe that. I mean, most of them were debunked to be just the farmer doing it, and people admitted to it and whatever. So I don't know about the original occurrences, but I mean I do know there were several debunked. Also, I just, before we get too far away from it, with those the released UFO videos, there was just a comment from the Department of Defense that read, the investigation into unidentified incursions into military airspace involves various intelligence methods and agencies, which means these videos were part of a classified investigation. That's why it took so long. And then they said the videos themselves were eventually deemed unclassified, but we do not release information that is part of ongoing investigation. So that's probably why it took so long. But they're pretty much just saying that if it is something, it's got nothing to do with them, and they have no idea.
Interesting.
Like how the other info about aliens before JFK. Anyway,
the other thing I found was that, or I just found it right now, that circles are the most occurring shape in nature. Like the human eye, planets, celestial bodies, tree rings, raindrops.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's pretty interesting.
So like.
Well, yeah, because when you think about it, what are you seeing that's square?
Yeah,
what's not
man-made?
Man-made objects.
SpongeBob.
Not man-made.
SpongeBob.
I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to think of it right now. I can't think of a single thing that's a square. That's
there's some
man-made.
like rocks and stuff that aren't circle. They're not circles.
Well, most of them have been eroded down through time, so that's just chance. But
That's
most
true.
rocks are circles because they've been eroded by weather and water, etc. But which, I mean, it usually makes a round indent. But I'm really finding it hard to think of anything right now that's square, not man-made.
If any of the listeners at home can think of something, you could drop it in a comment on our Instagram page at the Talkative Bunch.
Do we have a Twitter?
Exactly.
Yeah, we should make a Twitter.
Probably it's going to be the same tag at the Talkative Bunch. So leave comments.
Yeah, we'll make it
there.
If you look it up and it's not there, we haven't made it yet. But it'll be
up. It'll be up.
It'll be there. So we'll make sure
it'll be up. So I'm gonna actually tell a story really quick, not a long one, but it
About
is called,
aliens?
Yes, it is called The
Hey.
Strange Tale of Mrs. G.
He's reading a
Is
book.
this a personal story or is this online?
This is online that I found out. So
Okay,
Mrs.
just
G,
say the source before you do it.
it was
So listener, look it up, and so I can look it up.
It was the top 10 creepiest real life alien abduction stories from Watch Mojo.
Credible source. Credible
That's a
source.
good-
A credible
that's-
source.
You know what? Yeah, I believe that Watch Mojo does the majority of their research well.
I would think
Majority,
so.
I say.
Majority.
And
About
anyway,
60-40.
what 60-40%. What she was saying was that Mrs. G, while she was doing laundry in her backyard, was apparently knocked over the head and abducted, or felt like she got knocked over the head and abducted, and saw like bright flashes of light and stuff. And then she woke up and saw two figures with silver reflectors talking and doing things. And then she had the sensation of her getting knocked in the back of the head. And then she woke up at home with her laundry done. That's the story.
Say it again, because I was reading something and wasn't paying attention.
I was also
I-
reading something. Also,
I don't
the
know.
entire
I was
last
listening.
4 seconds. The entire last 4 seconds you just cut
Summarize.
out for me, so
That's
Girl got
What
knocked
was-
in the head, woke up, saw some aliens, got knocked back in the head, her laundry was.
yeah. What
Very
was the
friendly aliens.
what happened in the laundry room?
the laundry. Her laundry.
Did you say laundry room?
No, she was doing her laundry outside, but when she woke up, the laundry was folded and done in her room.
Oh, what the hell?
I know exactly. That's what it is.
Wow.
And then I'm going to talk about my alien encounter that I
You haven't had one.
No, he
I
doesn't.
haven't
You
had an
said
alien
yesterday,
encounter.
or not yesterday, last
I've never had a
episode?
supernatural experience, but I've had an
Same
I've-
thing,
No,
buckaroo.
it's not. No, it's not.
Buckaroo.
Actually, I would argue that alien experiences are more rare than
Ghosties?
supernatural.
It was when I was flying on a plane, and it was like it was like nighttime around midnight, like literally as we were flying over the Atlantic Ocean because we were
Is
going
it
to
2
Europe.
minutes to midnight?
Yeah, and I just kept. I know y'all are gonna say, "Oh, it's the
It was a
plane,"
bird.
but it wasn't the plane.
It was a
It was
bird.
just this in the distance, this bright light that switched from red to purple. Because you don't see purple on planes. You see, I saw red, purple, yellow, and then green, and then I saw it shoot across the sky, and I was like, it might have also been from sleep deprivation that I saw it, but I saw it. I was like, I'm gonna turn on the backyardigans and go to sleep.
Hey, what airline were you in?
I prefer not to say.
Well, tell me
Delta.
right now,
It
because
was
I can
Delta.
debunk your whole thing.
It's Delta.
Hold on.
Why are you gonna debunk my whole thing?
Planes can have multicolored lights on the outside of their wings. So you're right with
No,
the
no,
red.
no, no, dude. This was in like this was like far away. This was like it was like I want to say at least like many miles out.
At least many miles
At
out.
least many miles out. Okay.
At
No, so the
least
thing-
many miles.
So there's also a thing that happens with a plane window that it reflects in the window and then reflects back out and it looks far away.
So you're just telling me that an experience that
I think you were sleep
close to my
deprived.
chest for the last I don't know X many years. You're just telling me is a lie. That's all I'm.
Yeah,
Probably.
your whole life is a lie.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well,
Okay. That's.
I mean,
also
it
valid.
could have. I mean, it could have. It easily could have. But if you were sleep deprived, it was late at night, you're a kid,
It's
you
true.
see scary things.
Yeah, too many things are adding up here.
Austin.
But I mean, it's definitely a cool story because I can't think of one in my
No,
entire
it was
life.
just one of those
Yeah, I
moments
don't
in my
have
life
one.
where I was just like, "That's too weird," kind of thing. Where I'm like, "I don't like that."
Yeah, for sure.
I've only.
What's
had
like
two
the
of those.
capital? What there's like a city that like claims like alien spotting is like their thing. What is that? It's
Roswell, New Mexico.
Roswell.
Yeah, I was just about to
that's
say
what it is.
Roswell. Yeah, that's where Area 51 is.
Well, it's not in Roswell. It is in
It's
the
like
desert
outside.
off
That's
of yeah. It's actually in Nevada, but
Austin, do you have alien topic matters?
Well, I was just gonna bring up the question. Do you guys think aliens are real?
I would say the odds point to yes. I mean,
Yeah.
the universe is so big, and we just don't know like 1% of the things that are in it. So I would say, yeah, probably it had to have happened.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it's massive.
I don't know in what form. I don't know if they're just cell based or if they've evolved to something close to us or something completely different we've never thought of before. Maybe they travel through a different plane than we do, but you know, I would say the odds outweigh the doubts for me because we don't know shit about space.
We don't. Jake?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Austin.
I just want to bring up the fact, like if aliens were real, like, and giving it like the argument that the universe is so big, and like that's why like there's a possibility that they're real. What are the odds that out of all the planets they could visit, like they come to Earth?
That's so true too.
That's true. Because so
That would
that's saying that the way that we're phrasing this is that there is only one other race of aliens coming to look at us.
Right.
So there's only two races, not because if there's one, why can't there be several
80
hundred other
million
different types of aliens and they're all watching each other? They just haven't gotten to us yet. Or, okay, this in that Lil Dicky song, he's like, why would it be a coincidence that all life is here when the universe is always expanding? Like that's very true, even though it's from a
comedy song, yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. Like, really think about it. Is it just actually a coincidence that all life is here? Like,
and also, like, what if like aliens on like vast distant parts of the universe are in the same like technological situation as we are? That we're just
or
like
worse, or they're just behind like
we're
1,000 years.
Yeah, but there's also you can do the flip side of it where they're like a million years ahead of us in the sense where like they like we hypothetically aliens could have come and gone right under our noses and we wouldn't even know it if they're that technologically advanced. Like, you think we're gonna catch it? We fucking can't even remember to record the damn moon landing. We're gonna catch aliens on tape. Come on, guys.
I also
Here's the
think
other
like
thing.
Oh yeah.
Nope, go ahead.
I also, the other thing is like the only way that like we would be able to catch aliens, like I'm saying like these beings are probably smarter than us. Second off, we might never achieve space travel just because they might have an element on their like planet that we don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like this travel might not be possible for anyone except for like a certain planet, you know,
that have the resources to do it.
Yeah, because if you're thinking about it, the majority of our space travel has relied heavily on the gravitational pull of Earth. I mean, we use like supplementary engines and boosts and whatnot, but most of what we do, you know, launching a satellite, gravity, getting a shuttle to the moon, gravity, sending out one of the cameras to go into deep space exploration, gravity. You know, we're pretty much just sending them off with our own gravitational pull. We haven't really figured out how to. We're just sending them floating in a direction with the hopes that it doesn't run into anything and it can just go. But, yeah, with like very limited movement capabilities.
All right, so here's the other thing: like the way that space travel affects time. That if aliens were were distant to us outside of the Milky Way, they would be looking at Earth, and they would still be seeing the dinosaurs.
That's true because
unless they were like, oh, let's go check out these huge ass lizards and just come at us, and they're like, oh, those aren't lizards. What the fuck is that? Like, they wouldn't know that we are here until they got close enough.
That'd be the biggest like. I
mean, unless they have the technology
of the whole life.
Yeah.
And you guys can go check out some lizards, and they come to Earth. It's like, oh my god, racism!
What are these hairless things?
What happened?
The lizards were so cool. Bring them back.
Like, oh my god! It's like, what happened to the lizards? And they're like, what? That happened so long ago.
Yo, that was
what? They were
like 5 million years ago.
Yeah, they ask us what happened to the lizard. It's like, I have a crested gecko at home. It's like, what?
Yo, we keep them in tanks now.
It's like
They're
what
pets.
the fuck? It's like,
How do they get
oh.
so small?
You would be
Just
sick if
convince
aliens.
the aliens we have way more technology than they do without ever showing it to them. Like, yeah, we can't show you though. We have it. We can shrink things, but we can't show you.
If aliens
Like,
come,
too
I want to
dangerous.
be in their zoo if they abduct me.
So
'Cause you know they have. a
Oh
zoo.
yeah,
they know they have
that'd
a
be
zoo.
like you'd be a king
So
because they gotta keep you healthy. You'd be eating like a king.
I know.
Or do you think
Alright.
that they wouldn't be allowed to keep intelligent life in a zoo?
We're not that intelligent compared to them, though. If you think like if
Yeah, but
they,
it's still intelligent life.
If they've come up with a plan to get to us and they know that there's life on Earth, they're more intelligent than us. As
We
far
saw
as we know,
cognitive
we
thoughts.
don't know if we found life on other planets and just people aren't telling us. But I mean
That's
that's
true.
an
That's true.
idea. But I mean I'd like to believe that that's not real. But you know I don't know.
So
I also have I have two other things.
go for it, Morgan.
So I found a story on why we depict aliens as little green men traditionally and throughout like past the 50s and whatever. So it's a history.com article. It pretty much just talked about a night August 21st, 1955. A family called the Suttons went to the police in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and they told them this story about a terrifying siege, and I'm quoting the article, by otherworldly beings, and it would become one of the most detailed and baffling accounts of an alien encounter on the record. There were nearly a dozen witnesses. It lasted for several hours, and the proximity of the witnesses and creatures were sometimes just a few feet away, it says. And it quickly became regional and even national news.
Okay.
But that's all great and all, and it could just be a thing. I found really weird about it is that the police said the police chief, who was the chief at the time, when he told investigators, the kind of people, these people who are living on farms, etc., they're not the people to go to the police. They're the kind of people to just go grab their guns and
Deal with it
take care of
themselves.
things on their own,
Just
because
shoot
they're
it.
independent. Yeah, they're out living on a farm. They're on their own. They know how to be on their own, and they know how to protect themselves. That's what they were doing. And he said, yeah, here they were, women and children, hysterical, and one man with a heart pulse of 140 beats per minute. That was measured by an investigator. I mean, they were terrified.
Damn, that's
Yo,
And they were
you should've been
impervious
dead
to
at that point.
bullets. So the bullets didn't affect them. And I'm looking at the drawn descriptions of
what are they called? The Sutton family?
the Sutton Sutton
I've
family.
heard something about this.
That name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, I've definitely heard something along these lines of just like
This was one of the most popular stories. This is what kicked off the little green men theory. But I'm looking at the drawings, and they look so much like the Thing, if you guys know the Thing, or like lizard men, etc. That's exactly what they look like. That's so weird.
They're kind of cool.
They kind of do look cool. And then, apart from that, I wanted to talk about Tom DeLonge, who, for listeners who don't know, he was an ex-member of the band Blink-182. And I don't know if he was fired or just left on his own, but he runs To the Stars Academy. So I was always under the impression, until I researched what he actually does. It's To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. I was always under the impression that he was just batshit crazy, because some people are. But I'm actually looking at this. He has himself surrounded by like a really good team for this, and he actually does a lot of work with NASA and New York Times, and just a bunch of like different space companies that he's actually like, and he provided that NASA video. So that was pretty much all him, and then it got taken and classified. But so it's him, Tom DeLonge. He's the CEO right now. This is the board I'm talking about of the company. Dr. Hal Puthoff, who has 50 plus years as experience as a research scientist at General Electric, the NSA, Stanford, Sperry, and SRI International. So he's an advisor to NASA. He's an advisor to NASA, the Department of Defense, and the intelligence community on leading edge technologies and future technology trends. He's a patent holder in lasers, communications, and energy fields. And then we've got Jim Semivan, who he spent 25 years as operations officer for the CIA's Directorate of Operations. So he was DIO or DO. And then there's another guy, but he's pretty much like the business side of it. He's a private equity
There you go.
capital guy. So yeah, thanks. But I mean, he's got himself surrounded by a huge team, and it's, you know, I thought it was batshit crazy until I'm just reading everything they do. So it's pretty much they're just they seem to have a goal of paying attention to future technology and also gathering all of the past stories on UFO and interesting, you know, rare earth metals and etc.
So there's like shit dedicated to this.
Yeah, they're making a database of pretty much all the
pretty much
alien
type of past
things.
and future.
Damn.
That's kind of sick.
It's Tom DeLonge. Yeah. It's the guy from Blink-182. It's like, what the hell?
So what I brought to the alien topic today is
We're not going to talk about that.
A few quotes from movies. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I brought some few quotes from movies involving aliens, and I want to see if you guys can guess what movie they're from.
Okay.
It's a portal to another dimension. Messed it up already. It's a portal to another dimension. Welcome back, Ox.
Doctor Who, I don't know.
Nope. Don't you dare look it up. I hear your keyboard clicking. Don't you dare. Swear to God, Morgan, if you pull this right now, I swear.
The Jetsons.
Jake, you have a guess?
I have no idea.
It is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That was the weirdest freaking... Oh my God.
That was a weird movie.
I'm not even going to start.
I love that movie. That's my favorite Indiana Jones. And also, I was looking it up. I just couldn't find it.
I do like that movie. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's not an Indiana Jones movie.
It isn't.
Okay,
that's fair. That's fair.
It was an Indiana Jones movie till the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes got real weird. And the crystal aliens. Oh my God.
That's what.
Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, sorry.
Came out in the 80s.
That movie came out
10 years ago.
The movie is literally over a decade.
10 years ago?
Dude, it's to the point where I go, wow, Harrison Ford looks young in Indiana Jones Crystal Skull. Where I'm like, oh man, age has really hit him. But you know, that movie
that came out in 2008
that are cringe.
12 years ago?
Are you serious? That movie's almost a high schooler. What?
I thought that movie came out in the 80s, to be honest.
Oh, I thought that. What? Harrison Ford looks way too old for that to have come out in the 80s.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just really bad with Indiana Jones time frames.
Not your strong suit, Indiana Jones.
No. I put it as my weakness on resumes.
You know,
I don't understand the Indiana
I don't know Indiana Jones lore, really. But do you know what really scared me?
I've seen them, but I can't tell you much about them.
You know what scared me? Is the fact that the Indiana Jones first two movies took place roughly in the 1940s. There were Nazis in it, so it took place between.
Yeah, they were actually made in the 80s.
Took place between 1939 and 1945. And then they're telling me this movie took place in 1956 and he aged that bad. Not even 10 years and he looks like that. Oh,
aliens, dude.
I know, dude. It's crazy. All right, I got another quote for you guys. You ready?
Doctor Who.
No.
Shia LaBeouf.
No. I told your dad a lot of things, like my car broke down, my parents own a lake house, I'm 18.
It's from an alien movie?
It's from an alien movie.
Planet 51.
Nope.
52.
Nope.
That was a good-ass movie. I love that movie.
Planet 51 was a good movie. This quote was from Aliens in the Attic.
Oh, what a banger.
That literally, this is the scene where Ricky is talking to Ashley Tisdale's character, and then
Shout
he's
out
like,
Ricky.
I told
Ashley
your dad a lot of things, like my car broke down, my parents on a lake house, I'm 18.
I want
The
to watch
quote
that
did
movie.
not have
again.
anything to do with aliens. I'm just telling you that.
I
Yeah,
have
that's what I
one
was
more
throwing
quote. You guys
It doesn't
all should
have
get
to.
this.
They're just
My
from
guess-
alien movies.
My last quote is, "You're one ugly motherfucker."
Alien.
That's Will Smith.
That's Die Hard.
No.
That's not Will Smith. He definitely says that.
Predator.
Yeah, there you go, Morgan.
I'll tell you what, I always get Alien and Predator confused. Always.
I have
Alien
not
versus
seen either of those
Predator.
movies.
I saw Alien, but I haven't
Alien's
seen
a
Predator.
series. I don't know if Predator's a series, but I know Alien's a series.
Predator has a couple. Didn't they just remake Predator?
They did, but I thought I didn't do too well. I think so. Well, I don't
Just
know.
like Rambo. God, that Rambo movie was ass.
Oh my god.
I walked out of the theaters, and I never do that. I always stay through, but ugh. It's terrible. Sorry for Rambo lovers out there. Oh my god, it was bad. Couldn't understand a word he said. I guess that wasn't the reason I didn't like it. It just wasn't a good movie.
That's what happens. Sylvester Stallone. That's what happens after he does his own stunts for all the Rocky movies. He's just,
He just gets beat the shit out for 5 movies.
Well, that's like for those movies, the movies with the guys with like that weird silent audio and just their like the world's deepest voice. And I have a perfect example: Mad Max Fury Road, where it's just silent, and he looks up and he goes, "What was that?" And it's just awful, and you don't know what's going on. It's just like that. First of all, I loved Mad Max Fury Road. That was just the only example I can think of. But that's why I couldn't watch Thor Ragnarok, just because it was that editing style. I hated it.
Oh, if you watched how they filmed the Rocky 1, they were so under budget that whenever somebody got hit, Sylvester Stallone was off camera going,
yeah, I know. They did their own sound effects.
yeah, Sylvester, when they were
they did that
boxing
for
each
Star
other.
Wars too.
Yeah. They had to do their own.
Yeah, they do those sounds. That's too funny.
Another movie that they did all their own sound effects for, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. You guys remember
I
that?
fucking. Oh God! Why did it come to this?
We went from Aliens to Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Oh,
What's
I
the
think that's a
difference?
perfect
Honestly,
match.
what's the difference? Do you guys remember the Taco Bell show? Yo quiero Taco Bell.
You mean Oscar from The Office?
Yeah.
No way.
I
Love
like
Oscar.
how also like aliens have been kind of incorporated into pop culture, like the Brian Rippin dip. Like is like really alien
Oh, right.
stuff like that. I like how it's kind of been like the image like Morgan was talking about, like the little green men, how like that's just kind of been incorporated into our pop culture. Like
That's
if
because
you
the
type in
government wants you to
into
think.
Google aliens, like Jesus Christ.
Slide that picture in the video somewhere so that they get to look at it.
I really
Hide it.
I can
Hide
make
it
that
somewhere.
thumbnail.
Hide it. Give it like 1 second on screen so they have to pause it.
I'm the edits the video, so I can do that.
That'll be on the YouTube for the listeners that
For
have
the
come
things
from
we're just
Spotify and
laughing
Anchor
at
and all
right
that.
now.
I'll put
So-
it in exactly as we started laughing about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but do you guys have any closing remarks in terms of the alien thing?
Yo, that gay alien from Lilo and Stitch, the drag one.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
The
Stitch.
one that
One
dresses
eye.
in drag. The Lilo and Stitch alien.
Oh, right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you
Have you ever seen
mean?
Lilo? The green one. The green alien.
The
I'm
There's
looking
the
at
big
tentacly
one
one.
that has the mustache.
Oh wait, dude, I know this.
He's probably the best alien.
No, I got you.
No.
Best alien. The alien at the end of Spaceballs when they're at the diner. I'll send a gift right now.
Dude,
Yeah,
his name
hello,
is
my baby. Hello, my honey. That one.
Hello,
Where he
my
pops out of the
mama.
baby's body. Check, please. God, that movie.
his name is Jumba
Amazing.
Jacoba.
No, not that one.
No, it's the other one. It's
The green one. Larry. His name in the show,
No.
the movie's Larry.
No, it's not.
Yes, or is it the big one? Larry.
Wendy
Lilo and
Peakley is a
Larry.
major character in Lilo and Stitch.
I love
franchise.
Jumbo Jacoby.
Oh wait, just kidding.
Love Lilo and Stitch though. I watched a lot of Lilo and Stitch
Yeah.
growing up.
Honestly,
means family. Family means
Yes.
So for the listeners,
His name's Pleakley.
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 It is Pleakley, dude. I
He
remember.
always has the different costumes on, but I would say 85% of the time he's dressed as a woman.
He is dressed in drag
Wait,
a lot
who?
of the time. Pleakley, dude, from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about
Man, what a good
what's
show
his face?
and movie.
Who's the guy?
I'm watching
The
this.
comedian who Robin Williams.
Yeah,
What about Robin Williams?
same thing.
Half the time, like 70% is dressed as a woman.
That's true.
Nah, I love Robin Williams.
I was just talking. Me and
Rest
Seth
in
were talking
peace.
about Robin Williams today.
Shout out
Shotfire
Robin
is like one of the best comedy movies I've ever seen. It's not a movie I can watch like multiple times, in a short setting, and there are very few that are that for me. But damn if that's not a great movie. Damn if he's not an amazing comedian and actor. Not just saying that because he's dead, but
Shout out Robin Williams. You guys
Shout
get
out.
any closing statements for the audience?
I think I'm good, to be honest.
yeah, I like. I like
Aliens
the
are real
chat.
and they're gonna eat our brains.
When we have a Twitter, give us more suggestions as to topics you want to hear us talk about.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
You can ask for video things too, because we'll be hopefully the next podcast will be a video recording.
that's
That
true.
one,
Hopefully
is
this
that
the
one a
last
topic
time.
one?
No,
we doing
that's
a
just
top- free flowing one.
Yeah, we're free flowing one, but
Mine is
hopefully the
well for
next
the-
time, if you made it
yeah.
this far into the podcast, hopefully that this is us announcing that we are going to be moving to a studio space now, since the coronavirus pandemic is starting to let us meet with
In
people.
Ohio.
In
It's
Ohio,
not
Ohio,
in
in Ohio.
Ohio, depending on where you're from, in Ohio, to listen to groups, to be with groups of at least 10 people. So I
Yeah,
get to
and we
finally
won't
see you
know
guys.
for sure until Friday, which is May 1st.
Correct.
2020.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this 40 years in the future for historical reference, first of all,
Aliens
fuck
are
you.
real.
First of all, how dare you listen
How
to this?
dare you listen to this podcast 40 years in the future? This is so outdated. Get a life. You probably know aliens. You probably are an alien. Jeez.
For all our
I'm
You
not
think
gonna-
aliens would be around in our lifetime?
for all our listeners.
For our alien listeners, shout out
future
you guys.
alien listeners.
This episode's
Yeah.
dedicated to you.
This
Don't
one's dedicated
go back
to you.
in
If
time
you want to
and
be a
kill us.
guest, go for it. We'll be the first
Yeah,
podcast to have an
Hit
alien
our-
guest.
yeah, that'd be sick.
Well, anyway, this is the Talkative Bunch. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
Peace.
Peace.